Platform tennis originated from a street game called paddle tennis, which was invented in 1898 in Albion, Michigan, and introduced in New York in 1924 by the Reverend Frank P. Beale as a pastime for city children. Platform tennis is now played nationwide and worldwide in country clubs, municipal sports facilities, and colleges. Courts can be found near hotels and even on rooftops. There are now believed to be over 500,000 players in the U.S. alone. Indeed, the growth of the game has come full circle, for here, 12 stories above the site of Beale's early New York paddle tennis courts, are the 6 courts built in 1977 on the roof of New York University's Bobst Library. Platform tennis has been called wall-to-wall tennis and tennis's kid brother. It is played according to similar rules and with the same scoring as tennis on a court a quarter the size, except that only one serve is allowed. Short-handled paddles are used instead of strung rackets, and the sponge rubber ball may be played off the wire screen as well as off the court. Because of the smaller court and wire play, the court is easier to cover and the ball is easier to return. Platform tennis can be learned quickly and is equally enjoyable for the beginner as for the more experienced player, for the young and old. Rallies last longer than in tennis. Exchanges of over 30 shots are not the exception. Matches are closely and intensely fought, demanding a wide variety of shots, including lobs, drop shots, and volleys. The dense sponge rubber ball and wire play mean that platform tennis is more a game of finesse than force. It has often been compared to chess by the top players. Platform tennis is enthusiastically played as a sociable mixed doubles sport, day or night, and as a family game. While a newly developed singles game is rapidly gaining popularity, it is mostly played as doubles. And while in many places it is played year-round, it is primarily a winter sport. So how did it all begin? The founders of platform tennis were Fessenden S. Blanchard on the left and James J. Cogswell. Looking for a sport to fill the long winter months, they began to experiment in October of 1928 with a wooden platform built on the rough terrain of Cogswell's home in Scarsdale, a New York suburb. And the first game was played on November 28, 1928. They tried deck tennis, volleyball, and badminton, but nothing seemed quite right until Jimmy Cogswell turned up with the paddle tennis equipment he had found in a New York sporting goods store. And a snappy game of mixed doubles was underway. The net was heightened and a wire screen put around the court to keep the ball in. And one day, when the ball got stuck in the mesh, Fess Blanchard ran around the back to knock the ball through and declared that the ball was still in play, requiring Jimmy Cogswell to make the return. From then on, the ball was allowed to be played off the wire mesh as long as it had bounced inside the marked court first and before it bounced a second time. With some difficulty, the court was lengthened to 60 by 30 feet, the present standard size. The marked court, however, remained at 44 by 20 feet, the size of a badminton doubles court. Here we see the building of the second Cogswell court on the original site in 1930. The game became popular among the old Army athletes, the group of friends who gathered at the Cogswell home on Old Army Road in Scarsdale. Here, Fess Blanchard and Earl Gatchell accept the winner's trophy from Mrs. J.W. Proctor in a 1932 tournament on the Cogswell court. During the 30s, the game spread, first to the Blanchard summer home in Hingham, Massachusetts, then to Fox Meadow Tennis Club in November 1931, and to other country clubs in the East, including the Field Club of Greenwich and the Nursing Club. Sociable and easy to learn, platform tennis was the ideal sport to attract winter membership at the country clubs. Scrambles tournaments in which partners were randomly picked out of a hat were and are especially popular. They were conceived by Ken Ward, an early president of the APTA and winner in 1966 of its Honor Award. In the winter of 1934-35, the Evans backstop was invented by Donald K. Evans, shown here receiving the APTA's Honor Award in 1966 for his achievement. The Evans backstop was a major early innovation. It was the technical development that assured the future of platform tennis as a viable sport, for it made possible a generally uniform bounce for ball. In 1934, the American Paddle Tennis Association was formed by representatives of Fox Meadow Tennis Club, the Nursing Island Club of Rye, and the Field Club of Greenwich, Connecticut. This group shot of 10 APTA presidents spans 20 years of APTA history. The first nationals were held at Fox Meadow in 1935. Men's doubles champions were Sumner Kilmarks and Clifford Couch. First women's champions were Jean Eaton and Kitty Fuller. The Nationals have been held at Fox Meadow annually ever since, except in 1973 when they were held in Cleveland, Ohio. In March 1936, Reverend Beale was invited to the Cogswell Court. He brought 2 city paddle players to play Ruth Blanchard and Doe Cogswell at the new version of his invention. The home team won. Platform tennis was photographed for Life magazine by John Milley for the March 1940 issue. In 1937, the Rockettes posed on the roof of Radio City Music Hall. By the early 40s, the number of players had expanded. So did the number of spectators. The gallery, filled with avid fans braving wind, rain, and icy cold, has always been an integral aspect of the sport. From the early days at the Cogswell's home to modern times at Forest Hills. In platform tennis, after all, the fans were and are the players. Platform tennis grew beyond its Scarsdale beginnings because of the infectious spirit of the game, because of the enthusiasm and involvement of a sport that is as addictive to watch as to play. As Fess Blanchard wrote in a letter in February of 1950, commenting on the lack of media attention to the sport, as a matter of fact, we don't give much of a damn. We are having too much fun as it is. In 1935, you could buy a portable court for $490. These days, the most advanced aluminum court, pioneered by R.J. Riley Company in 1970, lights for night play and the heated surface will run you about $25,000. Temporary construction is, however, occasionally still used, as for the Tribuno tournaments of 1976 and 1977 at Forest Hills, or Passport's annual Grand Prix at Burlington House on 6th Avenue in New York City. Over the years, the paddle has also evolved from the primitive bat of the 20s to modern space-age design. The balls have gone from the original white to orange in 1963 to yellow in the 70s for improved visibility. As you will have noticed, platform tennis attire can be eccentric. From the early days, players have deliberately eschewed the rigid dress conventions of tennis, which would not in any event be practical given typical platform tennis weather conditions. However, still in style, coonskin coats and worn-out sneakers. Charlotte Lee, an 8-time National Women's Champion and Honor Award winner, was equally renowned for raising the level of fashion. platform tennis has produced many other heroes over the years, we cannot do justice to them here. The APTA established the Honor Award in 1963 for presentation to those individuals who have made outstanding contributions to the growth of platform tennis. Thus far, 31 men and women have received the award. They include one of the outstanding great players of the game, Dick Hebard, who was men's doubles champion 8 times between the years of 1949 and 1963. Personalities from other fields have played platform tennis. George Plimpton and Oleg Cassini participated in the Pro Celeb tournament at Forest Hills in 1976. Howard Cosell was the referee. Governor Brendan Byrne of New Jersey is an avid player, as is former ambassador to the Soviet Union, Walter Stossel, who installed courts at the embassies in both Warsaw and Moscow. And many well-known tennis players have gravitated to platform tennis over the years, including Don McNeil, Bill Talbert and Frank Guernsey, Frank Shields and Stan Smith. But the best tennis players have not always been automatically the best paddle players, although in recent years, Davis Cup players Herb Fitzgibbon and Hank Irvine and Clark Graebner, who with Doug Russell have been national champions and have competed consistently at the top of the pro circuit. The first professional platform tennis event was the televised VAT Gold Cup at Hilton Head in North Carolina in 1973. Tribuno sponsored the 1975 and 1976 seasons with a full prize money tour for men and women. One of the sports sponsors has been Passport Scotch, with tours for men and women players and a Grand Prix event. And the importance of the amateur in platform tennis has been recognized by Hertz in sponsoring the President's Cup, and by International Silver Company with their recent promotion of a husband-wife tournament. As the game has grown, so have the responsibilities and functions of the game's governing body, the American Platform Tennis Association. The APTA has 265 member clubs and 13,000 individual members, and operates from an office in Upper Montclair, New Jersey, under a full-time executive director, Gloria Dillenbeck. The APTA controls equipment and court standards and specifications. It also publishes the rules and etiquette booklet and how to conduct a tournament draw. Platform tennis is becoming a more widely accepted college sport, and courts now exist at 42 colleges and prep schools, including these shown here at Penn State. And the international growth of the game led in 1977 to the formation of the International Platform Tennis Association. Courts now exist in Holland, France, Switzerland, Japan, Russia, Mexico, and Canada. Platform tennis is surely a game of action and finesse. Many play just for fun. It's a game for the pros, a game for the mavericks, a game for the devotees, a game for the active of all ages, a game for all.